All right. Well, hi, hello, and welcome to Better Together, introducing new Splunk integrations and AI innovations for Cisco AppDynamics. Now, today's exciting webinar is sponsored by Cisco and produced by Actual Tech Media. My name is Jess Steinbach. I'm with Actual Tech Media, and I am very happy that I get to be your moderator for this conversation today because I get to learn right alongside you. Today, we are listening in on a conversation between two incredible experts here with us from Cisco. We're going to talk to us about AI, which I know all of us perked up at that. We love those AI enhancements. This is the topic du jour, right? So with our expert guides, we are going to explore how these new and innovative automations can help you streamline your workflows, improve productivity, and accelerate those KPIs like mean time to detect and mean time to remediation. Big, important things, right? So we're going to get some hot tips, we're going to get some actionable steps, and we are going to explore this all important idea of full stack observability and how you can make that a reality in your organization. I cannot wait to get started. We got a lot to cover here. So I am going to zip through a few important housekeeping points and then get us on our way. I want to start out by drawing your attention on over to the questions section of your webinar console, because this is the best place to get involved, get interactive, post all of your wonderful, insightful questions that I know are just rolling around in your brains right now. I can feel you all out there with your brains full of questions. So get those into that tab today. We're going to give it a little test run right now if you haven't already done so. Give us a hi, give us a hello. I see you, Rakesh. Hey, Jane. Hey, Tony, Morteza, Adewale, Vrej. We've got a whole crew with us. Joseph, Jim, hey, Jorge, we got everyone. All right, so keep those highs and hellos coming. I want to hear from you throughout our day today. I want to know how your day is going. Say hi to the community out here with us. Now, that questions window is also going to be the best place to reach out if you do have any technical issues. Knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't come up. But if it does, your first step is a browser refresh. You're going to try that first. Browser refresh, usually it's the turn it off and on again, right? That's the equivalent of that. So try a little browser refresh. Now, if that doesn't work, you can shoot us a message in that questions window and we will be there to help you out. All right, the last stop on your guided tour today, you were in the questions window, you were saying hi and hello. Now you're going to move over to the handouts tab. That handouts tab has some great resources and takeaways. Definitely want to explore those follow-ups to our conversation today. So make sure you spend some time exploring that handouts tab. But don't leave us yet, because we've got a whole webinar in front of us. So you want stay with us and then spend some time with those handouts after we wrap. Speaking of wrapping up, right at the end of our webinar today, we're going to have a $250 Amazon gift card as a prize drawing. That does go to someone who is here live and present at the webinar, and a little bit lucky. That always helps too. All prize winners must meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. If you're not sure what those are, they linked for you in the handouts tab. So you can head back over to that handouts tab, click and scroll down, and you will find them waiting for you there. All right, well, that is it for the housekeeping. That's all the important stuff we needed to cover. And now we get into the good times here, because I am going to bring out our incredible expert presenters, our dynamic duo here with us from Cisco. And that is Dave Hickman, Director of Product Marketing, and Dina Shingavi, Director of Product Management at Cisco. This incredible team has a lot in store for us. Dave, I think you're going to kick things off with Dina. And then we've got Chanel waiting in the wings, who's going to be gathering questions from our audience. So you guys can all do some Q&A later. Just a whole lot in store. There's a lot coming our way, friends. So with that, I will step back. Dave, I'm going to kick things on over to you. Take it away.
Appreciate everybody joining us today. I'm very excited to be able to share some of the new integrations with both our recent Splunk acquisition, as well as some AI innovations for Cisco AppDynamics that we recently unveiled at our Cisco Live customer event in Las Vegas just 2 weeks ago. And love to be able to share that with as many people as I possibly can. So today we're going to start off by setting the bar with observability. What is observability? Why is full stack observability a thing? And then we're going to talk about how Cisco and Splunk together augment that observability before we dive into some of the new innovations with both Cisco and Splunk, as well as AppDynamics SaaS solutions as well. So let's start off with observability. Why does observability require full stack visibility? So let's start with the digital experiences that power your business. Every customer is unique. So Whether you're in retail, finance, healthcare, technology, government, every industry has their own unique applications. And every application has its own unique purpose, whether it's for your traditional consumer-based e-commerce purchases, to subscribers, for citizens, and even for employee productivity. Everybody has a uniqueness about their business. And each one of these applications is also powered by a unique application stack. Everybody has a different application language, an application topology, different infrastructure, different networks, different databases, different security protocols, even commercial off-the-shelf SaaS applications or on-premises applications often make up the bigger application experience for the users. But the one thing they do have in common is that when digital experiences go dark, so does your business. That's why it's important to not only have observability, but full stack observability. Starting with being able to see all across your particular domain, from the end user through the network to the data center, whether your applications are cloud native applications or hybrid 3-tier applications, to the back end infrastructure and compute capabilities. You need to be able to see across that entire full stack in order to be able to deliver those flawless experiences. There we go. And when we look a little bit closer to it, again, the full stack is what takes a big picture of it. It's not just having isolated silos of monitoring where I have one application for APM and another one for infrastructure and another one for network and another one for database and another one for security. It's about having end-to-end visibility across your entire domain or even multiple domains so that you can easily connect symptoms with the problems and the root causes. And that's where Cisco Full Stack Observability comes into play. So what does it mean to have full stack observability? It's a bit of a buzzword, but it's something that means something very specific to us. First is you need to be able to observe and see inside your applications in every domain that powers it. And second, you're going to not only want to see inside each individual things, you want to be able to observe these cross-domain correlations and application dependencies so that you can see how infrastructure might be impacting application performance and ultimately resulting in a poor customer experience or declining business impact. And then finally, to be able to observe all of this through a business lens so that you can view your most important digital transactions and your most important customers for your apps to provide that ultimate level of context across the full stack. Now, the way that we do that is we take in data or signals from multiple different domains, the application, cloud, on-premises, infrastructure, network, security, and correlate those signals together and map them to the business context so that we can provide real-time insights for multiple personas and multiple teams. And we do this by bringing together data from every environment in every stack, not just for the purpose of collecting data, but to unlock core use cases so that your company can move from being reactive to predictive and proactive to ultimately drive the business outcomes that you need for your company and for your customers. So with Cisco Full Stack Observability, now you can see it all. And by having that full stack observability, it allows you to do a number of things to improve your business. First of all, looking at everything in context and looking at it through a business lens will help you focus on what matters most as you're doing your triage and you have to understand what is my highest priority today or right now, at this hour, this minute. It can also help you minimize tool sprawl by consolidating this visibility within a single architecture as opposed to spread out across multiple tools that don't talk to each other. We can help reduce the time to identify problems as well as the time it takes to resolve problems by having this consolidated view of your applications. And ultimately, we can break down silos between the teams in your organization. So instead of everybody only looking at their data, everybody is seeing all of the data in context. So you can focus not on what's wrong with my domain, but what's wrong with the application and how do we work together on a common goal to focus on what matters most. And with full stack observability, now you can see all of that. And of course, we're very excited to welcome Splunk to the full stack observability portfolio. Together, we are able to solve even bigger problems before than could have been solved apart. So by being able to power an inclusive future for all and to build a safer and more resilient digital world. So let's take a look at full stack observability. What does it look like? How does Splunk fit into this? How does it augment it? First, I'll kind of start off by saying full stack observability, we look at it's a solution architecture wherein Cisco is able to bring together two or more products or solutions to solve unique use cases that would not normally be able to be solved with just a single domain view of things. And if you've been following along from past webinars and past conferences, you'll see how we've spoken about how full stack observability solves real world problems to deliver results with a number of use cases, anywhere from application performance monitoring, digital experience monitoring, and business risk observability. Now, at the same time, prior to the acquisition by Cisco, Splunk had also pioneered many solutions for observability, most notably a world-class log analytics capability, as well as application performance monitoring and infrastructure monitoring for cloud-native workloads, as well as several other solutions and use cases. Now, how do we all come together? By bringing them together, we are able to expand the overall number of use cases serviced within the Cisco family of full stack observability products. That's why we're so excited to have Splunk with us on this journey to make sure that we provide the whole gamut of observability needs, from log analytics to application performance monitoring, to digital experience monitoring, to AI ops, incident response, and so much more across your entire digital estate, whether your workloads are cloud native, multi-cloud, on-premises, or hybrid. So let's take another look at sort of how this comes together, this sort of reference architecture that I've been talking about. So our go forward portfolio for full stack observability is going to include and start with the Splunk core platform for logs, both Splunk Enterprise for on-premises and Splunk Cloud for hosted applications. Further complemented by the AppDynamics solution, both in a software as a service model, as well as for an on-premises or self-hosted observability. These are, particularly well suited for your hybrid and 3-tier applications. Further complemented by the Splunk Observability Cloud, specifically for your modern cloud-native applications and infrastructure. And then feeding into another layer, which is the Splunk IT Service Intelligence, providing business services monitoring, event aggregation, and AI ops. So all of these different things are feeding into this ITSI tool to help power even greater use cases. So taken together, full stack observability use cases has now expanded, and within the near future, as I'll highlight in just a bit, will be powered by Gen AI to provide a unified observability experience across these different products to really provide a holistic, seamless end-to-end solution. So let's take a look at of what we're going to talk about today. So first, I'm going to cover some of the integrations that we're doing between AppDynamics and Splunk. And then I'm going to highlight some of the innovations that we're doing specifically for AppDynamics as an independent product as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting with our SaaS product, AppDynamics SaaS. We're already providing a number of full stack observability use cases, and together we're able to expand those, including hybrid application monitoring with SaaS. SAP monitoring is something that we also support with our SaaS. Business risk observability, if you haven't been following along, that's the ability to prioritize your vulnerabilities and threats using business context, using additional feeds that give you the likelihood of an attack so that you can prioritize your security practices to make sure you're focusing on what's mattering most. Expanded digital experience monitoring, as well as an expanded AI ops use case, specifically with the Splunk ITSI application. And our initial approach is going to focus on providing unified experiences across these key portfolio elements for each persona and for each use case. So the goal is to not approach this as here's multiple products in order to do one job. We want to provide that layer on top to make you forget that there's multiple products coming together to help solve your job. And that's something that we called unified experience or unified observability experience. So digging down a little bit deeper here onto this left side with the Splunk integration, specifically through our unified observability experience projects, we are enabling single sign-on, first and foremost, between Splunk and AppDynamics so that we can streamline that workflow across different products. So whereas in the past you may have done some troubleshooting in AppDynamics and then had to log into a completely different system to look at your logs, you can seamlessly click straight through. No additional login is required because of this single sign-on integration with the dominant identity providers. Again, removing another speed bump, another reminder that there's multiple products helping you solve a problem. We're also implementing shared context with deep linking. So the idea is, again, not that you have to start your journey in AppDynamics and then put that on hold and then go to Splunk and start searching all over again for those application logs. We'll provide that deep linking to take you directly from AppDynamics into Splunk within the exact context that you are in, maintaining that cohesive observability experience that helps customers not only triage faster, but also have a more enjoyable experience with that. And two of these core principles, these are bigger than just one particular integration. This is going to really be guiding our roadmap towards how we integrate further and further with Splunk. But we're very excited to announce our first integration with Splunk called the Splunk Log Observer Connect for AppDynamics SaaS. And within that, we're again utilizing those principles of single sign-on. We are utilizing that deep linking capability so that directly from AppDynamics, if you're looking at an application, a tier, a node, a business transaction, or a transaction snapshot, if logs are available, it'll give you the prompt to, hey, you can click here and view those logs in Splunk. And when you do that, you'll see that we preserve this context. And my colleague Dina is actually going to show you how that is going to work in real life, and how that's going to save you a lot of time, as well as once you're in Splunk, some of the tools in terms of point and click analytics will help you very quickly understand where the problem is. It's been described to me as metrics, events, snapshots in AppDynamics. They tell you if there's a problem, when that problem occurred, and where that problem occurred. And Splunk is the perfect complement to tell you why that problem occurred. Ultimately, again, shortening that route to mean time to resolution. But why tell you about it when we can show you how that's going to work? So I want to introduce my colleague, Dina Shangavi, who's going to give you a nice demo of how Log Observer Connect works. Dina?
Thank you, Dave, and hi, everyone. I'm excited to demo the Log Observer Connect for AppDynamics today, and you will see how easy this integration will be for you and how much that would benefit you. Many of AppDynamics customers already use Splunk, and when SRE and DevOps persona want to troubleshoot an application-related problem, they need to manually find the relevant logs, and it's a time-consuming process, and sometimes it's even challenging, especially when an application like e-commerce application is down. Time is of value. And now AppDynamics enhances the logs with AppDynamics metadata, such as app name, service name, etc., so that finding those logs makes it easier for you and finding that context. And we will provide that contextual link, as Dave mentioned earlier, so that you can resolve your problem faster. So I've already logged into AppDynamics SaaS right now, and I'm monitoring an e-commerce application. As you could see that this application has already been set up to have the logs sent out to Splunk, and the configuration is done on AppDynamics side and Splunk side so that the logs are decorated with AppD metadata. And as Dave mentioned, you see the link view logs in Splunk highlighted because there are logs on the Splunk cloud already. We do have 5 entry points, but let's just start with clicking that application level view logs in Splunk. And as Dave also mentioned, we have enabled the SSO. So in this case, because we're using the same SAML identity provider, clicking on view logs in Splunk does not prompt the user to actually log in onto the Splunk cloud. This user exists on Splunk cloud as well, and they have an entry. So I'm looking at last couple of hours, and at the application level, you could see there are closer to 1 million events, right? And even if I just look for logs at the error level, what you will notice is that I still have close to 800 events, still a lot of events. But this is where Splunk also shines with their own capabilities that provide. For example, you can click on quick reports and you'll get an idea of perhaps which service is a culprit here. And it gives you the count of logs that come from each of these services. However, as most of you are AppDynamics customers, and you know that business transaction is what matters to you the most. So by navigating to business transaction, so let me go to the business transaction. I'm going to look at the add to cart business transaction because it has some errors being displayed, and then the health is actually showing in the warning as well. So let me go to the specific business transaction. Now I can go to the flow map, and again, I can click on the view logs. So now I've just cut down my number of logs from almost 1 million to about 130,000. Again, still a lot of logs to look at. So perhaps what SREs and DevOps persona tend to do is they will actually go to a snapshot that maybe is experiencing slowness. So in this case, let me click on the first snapshot. And now that we're decorating the logs with the request GUID as well, clicking on view logs in Splunk will actually now only have 12 events. So much easier to sort through, go through, and understand. And I can further do a level filter by error. And now I only have 2 statements. And as you can see from the error messages, oh, I have a SQL error. Now I can go and work with my database operational person and figure out an issue and close off the problem. So a very easy 90-second demo I just did. It's because we've done a lot of the work in the back end to eliminate you going through manually finding the logs that are, we could actually provide you in one click and provide you the context. So to highlight, we enable single sign-on. Both Splunk and AppDynamics are set up with the same SAML identity provider. So then the users don't need to log in each platform over and over again. We provide you contextual search. The indexes, AppD name, app name, request GUID are all pre-filled for you, so you don't have to redo the work. And all of this, by providing you the context, we're actually saving you the time while you're trying to troubleshoot to help you detect and resolve the errors faster. Back to you, Dave.
Great. Thanks, Dina. Great demo. I really love how, you look like you know your way around Splunk a little bit. But imagine if you didn't, how would you know what the request GUID was? If you were to try and do this manually within Splunk, that would take you a long time to figure it out if you could figure it out. So just by providing that context, I'm sure you save, valuable time and uncover things much faster than you could on your own. All right. And I also like to point out too, you didn't have to change the time frame. It preserved whatever time frame you were looking at inside of AppDynamics when you moved over to Splunk too, for that seamless contextual swap. Awesome. So let me keep going on, and I want to focus a little bit now on some of the Cisco AppDynamics innovations that we announced at Cisco Live. So let's kind of jump into our list right here. First of all, we have traditionally hosted our SaaS offering on AWS. We are now expanding that with an offer to host Cisco AppDynamics SaaS on Microsoft Azure. So we are expanding our partnership with Azure to both not only sell our software through the Azure Microsoft Marketplace, but also host it in Azure. That's great for customers that have already chosen Azure as their preferred cloud domain. So now we can align their APM choice with their other choice of cloud hosting platform. And it also allows us to expand our geographic presence by opening up new availability zones around the world to help customers, whether it's meet data residency requirements or other requirements, or just to be more concurrent and closer to their applications. Next, we pre-announced Cisco AI Assistant. This is where AI is really coming into its own. We're initially going to be launching an AI-powered help center that will help our customers gain instant answers to products and capabilities. So you'll be able to do a simple free text query like, how do I install AppDynamics Smart Agent? And it will synthesize that response for you using generative AI, but it will also provide citations back to the documentations that it's already been trained on, so that you can validate the response against hard documentation. If we haven't trained the AI assistant on a particular application or technology, it will let you know. It's not going to make up answers for stuff it hasn't been trained on. It'll be very transparent in that nature. We will also have the ability to burst out. So not only will we train it on our documentation, we'll also train it on our community and other areas. So if you can't find your answer in the docs, we can point you towards community resources to help resolve problems or answer any questions that you have. It will get smarter over time as it gets used to interacting with you personally. That gives you the ability to kind of thumbs up, thumbs down to further train that model. This is just the first delivery that we're going to have later this summer or in the early fall. And then we're going to continue expanding AI Assistant into troubleshooting use cases where you'll be able to say, hey, show me all the errors within the last hour for this application, or help plot out this information, help me with root cause analysis, help me with triaging. That's going to be very exciting once we start bringing that to market. We also are looking at the other side of AI. Not only are we using AI to power outcomes for our customers with that last slide, we're also able to monitor AI applications within AppDynamics SaaS. So specifically, if you're using APIs from OpenAI, you've built an application that uses the ChatGPT APIs, we can monitor the performance, the usage of those APIs. We can even monitor the costs of each one of those API calls. I know it seems cheap, it's only pennies per call, but we want to make sure that you don't get surprised at the end of the month with a wildly successful application that blew your budget out of the water. So you can not only see how well is my application performing in relation to this remote API, but how much money am I spending in case I need to dial things back or make some tweaks to my application before it's too late, before I get a big surprise. And we have a pretty robust roadmap in terms of how we will continue to expand this. This OpenAI LLM monitoring is available today. And then we are continuing to expand our agent management capabilities. Earlier this year, we released our Smart Agent. That is a simple, intelligent agent that resides on each host and acts as your agent management assistant, helping to orchestrate your agent lifecycle management, simplify things dramatically, both in terms of time as well as domain knowledge required in order to not only instrument an application, but to update your agents so that you always have access to the latest technology from AppDynamics. In fact, we just released a new feature called Auto Discovery, where Smart Agent installed on that host will automatically profile and discover all of the processes running on that host so that you can then decide which one of those processes that you want to instrument. And then we're looking forward to later this year being able to do full auto instrumentation, where we'd be able to use policies to automatically say, whenever you install Smart Agent, just instrument the processes you find per these guidelines. Instrument these, not those. Again, dramatically simplifying what it takes to bring new applications on board. And then we've also just last month in May released a new version of AppDynamics on premises with a virtual appliance form factor. So one of the things we've been wanting to do is modernize our on-premises offering, which in many respects is on par with our commercial SaaS offering, except we've recently added, or over the last couple of years, we've added some new functionality in the form of AI-powered anomaly detection, application security, open telemetry processing. These were actually new, scalable, Kubernetes-based, microservices-based applications that was prior to now difficult to run on premises. So with the virtual appliance, we'll package up not only the software, but the operating system and the container platform and everything, so that you now have the ability to have cognition engine running to find anomaly detection and root cause analysis on premise for your on-premise and hybrid applications. Same thing with application security. Cisco Secure Application is now going to be supported on premises with the virtual appliance. Both the security and the anomaly detection further strengthens our SAP solution, which is already supported on premises, but it's now turbocharged with these new capabilities. And we've even put together a new pricing plan that allows you to value shift some or all of your on-premises licenses to SaaS if you want to. You don't have to. We're not forcing anybody to move from on-premises. In fact, it's a very popular offering for us, but we're now giving customers the flexibility to make changes when they're ready to do it, as opposed to having to wait till renewal time. So AppDynamics Flex pricing is going to enable that. So again, kind of bringing it back full circle. Again, all of this together is why we're so excited about the full gamut of addressable use cases within the Cisco Full-Stack Observability solution architecture. By adding Splunk into this, again, more and more use cases are available to give you that full end-to-end experience across your entire estate. And again, solve problems that one single product could not solve on its own. Ultimately, so that you can focus on what matters most, you can reduce your operating costs by minimizing tool sprawl, as well as minimizing duplication of data, helping you to reduce time to resolution and break down silos within your team by providing that consolidated visibility. So with Cisco Full-Stack Observability, now you see it. One of the things I want to highlight that's coming out next week, I think you guys might be interested in, is we are releasing a new report from Forrester that we work together with them to create a total economic impact report for Cisco Full-Stack Observability, similar to an ROI, but even better, where we worked with several different customers from different industries to create some composite learnings in terms of the payback for your initial investment, how much money you can save in terms of operating costs, in terms of avoiding lost revenue to downtime, in terms of employee productivity. So I encourage you to either look for that email from us or come visit us on our website and learn about just how much money you can save for your enterprise by adopting Cisco Full-Stack Observability. And if you want to learn even more, I encourage you to visit appdynamics.com. We have some information already available for Log Observer Connect. There's a whole bunch of new blogs were published at Cisco Live just 2 weeks ago. We're building out more and more content on our community with subject matter experts who are there to engage with you if you have any questions about some of these new innovations. I would encourage you to, again, if you want to get in a little bit deeper, schedule a demo with us. You can reach out to your account manager. You can just go to our website through the menu, request to schedule a demo. And if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, all of our sessions, or many of our sessions from Cisco Live, will be available in an on-demand library. So you can learn, is more than you ever wanted to about what's happening with AppDynamics, what's happening with Splunk today, and make sure that you're completely informed. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my presentation and throw it back to Chanel for Q&A.
For sure. That was so helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, everybody, go ahead and you can use the Q&A box to submit your questions. Since we're almost at time, I know that we won't be able to get to them all because we already have some here. We have quite a few actually. So if we don't get to them, we will answer them within a week's time. But okay, so the first question we have here is, the first question we have is, when will the Log Observer Connect integration be publicly available for customers? And Dina, can I pass this one to you?
Yeah, thanks, Chanel. So in end of July, we will have AppDynamics SaaS to Splunk Cloud integration publicly available. AppDynamics to SaaS with Splunk Enterprise will follow in the calendar year 2024, third quarter. And AppDynamics on-prem to Splunk Enterprise will be fast follow after that.
Okay, thank you. This might be an easy one. Do I need an existing Splunk account, or can I get this through my AppDynamics subscription?
Yes, you need an existing Splunk account licenses for ingesting logs.
Thanks. All right, the next question we have is, will Log Observer Connect be available for AppDynamics on premises and or the new virtual appliance?
Yes, as I indicated previously, the capability will be available soon after calendar year 24, third quarter. As you know, we're releasing the functionality in a very quick 2 to 3 months since the acquisition of Splunk. So we will announce the date for when it will be available for AppDynamics on-prem and the virtual appliance soon.
Okay, thanks. And here's another one. How do I get my application logs into Splunk?
Sure. So you will need to configure Splunk Universal Forwarder to collect logs into Splunk Core as instructed in Splunk documentation. Now you will need to add some AppDynamics metadata into Universal Forwarder. Basically, you just update inputs.conf, such as appd app name, appd tier name, appd node name, etc. And then the business transaction ID and the transaction snapshot request GUID will be decorated during the runtime. So it's a very quick configuration on Universal Forwarder if you don't already have Splunk logs configured.
Okay, great. And somebody's asking, do I have to install anything new on my host, like a new agent, to enable the Log Observer Connect integration?
No, you don't need to install anything new. You just need to upgrade to the latest versions of Java.NET and Node.js agents, which what we're supporting in our first release. And you can leverage Smart Agent capability to upgrade these agents quickly. And if you already use Splunk, you'll just need to set up the input.conf Splunk Universal Forwarder file, but you don't need to install anything new for this integration to work.
Okay, great, thanks. And I think we'll just ask two more. We'll be able to answer two more questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, here's another one. Is there an additional cost associated with the Log Observer Connect?
No. Once you have AppDynamics SaaS and Splunk Cloud licenses, the integration between the two is free of charge. If you are on Splunk ingestion-based licensing, there is a minimal cost for you to ingest the extra metadata. However, that's offset by the context you get and the time that you save by not having to manually search.
Got it. And is this the same as Log Observer Connect for Splunk Observability Cloud?
This is a great question. Almost. Log Observer Connect for Splunk Observability Cloud brings the appropriate logs with their filtering facets into the cloud UI. In our first phase, we're actually navigating the user to Splunk Cloud in context, We also will have logs preview in our AppDynamics UI with the predefined filters as well. That's coming up in the future phases.
All right. Then we'll ask one more, or excuse me, answer one more. Let's see. Can I also use Log Observer Connect for network, database, and infrastructure troubleshooting?
In the future, we do have the plans to bring infrastructure, security, database, network logs, integration with AppDynamics as well. We will be announcing those dates as soon as they become available. For now, we're focusing on application performance monitoring.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you so much. We have a lot of other questions, but since we're at time, we'll be able to answer them via email. So look out for that within a week's time. But thank you for joining us. This presentation will be on demand, and we look forward to welcoming you to our other webinars. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you, Chanel. That was a great conversation. Thank you for leading us through some audience Q&A. Just a huge high five to our incredible speakers here with us today, Dave and Dina, for a lot of great information. I don't know about you guys, my brain is just kind of buzzing. There was a lot of takeaways in there and some really important, I think it's great to get into the high level picture, and it's also really important to talk about some action steps. So I think we got a little bit of both in our conversation today, which was really great. And hopefully all of you are leaving feeling ready to continue these conversations. Some easy next steps for you are to visit the handouts tab and download those resources. Make sure you've got them saved so that you can read a little bit more after we wrap. There's a couple of ebooks that I really want to recommend. One, The Ultimate Guide to Industry 4.0 Observability, and the other one is The Age of Application Observability, which is digging into why technologists must act now in order to optimize application performance and deliver sustainable innovation within hybrid IT environments. So some really, really hot topics in that. Both those ebooks, great reads. And of course, it's summer, right? We're all looking for a little summer light reading. So there's your afternoon read, hopefully out in the sunshine somewhere. There's a couple of articles also linked in the handouts tab that I would recommend checking out. There's a Gartner piece called Voice of the Customer for Application Performance Monitoring and Observability, and a really great read on Cisco building a unified observability experience between AppDynamics and Splunk. So again, these are all important follow-ups, because the conversation that we just had with Dave and with Dina and getting to do some Q&A with Chanel, these are just the starting points, just the jumping off points. And there's so much more that you want to dig into and find out how this may or may not fit in your organization. And that starts with you, clicking on that handouts tab and asking the questions now, and then keeping that information seeking rolling. Speaking of that questions tab, as Chanel mentioned, we are going to make sure that all the questions asked get sent to Cisco, so you will hear back from them. So if you asked a question that we didn't have time to get to today, keep that on ice, because you'll get some answers back. And if you have a question that's still rolling around in your brain that you haven't asked yet, get it out. Now's the time, and we will get you some answers back. Now, I know you're all sticking around waiting for me to announce the prize, so let's get to that. We have a $250 Amazon gift card going to someone here live and present at the webinar. And, as I said, a little lucky, little fairy dust on you today. Wishing you some luck. All right. So $250 Amazon gift card going to Simeon Baccaro from Hawaii. Simeon Baccaro from Hawaii. Well, congratulations, Simeon. As always, we will be in touch about claiming your prize after we wrap. Not only do you get to live in the beautiful state of Hawaii, but you also get a $250 Amazon gift card. That's just win-win right there. That's all around lucky. All right. Well, with that, on behalf of the Actual Tech Media team, I want to once again thank Cisco for making this webinar possible, especially to our incredible speakers, as I said, Dave and Dina, and to Chanel for leading some wonderful audience engagement at the end. You've all given us a lot to think about today. And you know what? That brings me around to all of you. As always, I always like to end with a little thank you and a high five to all of you out there in the audience with us, because you've all taken time out of your day to come and chat with us, to ask some questions, to participate in this conversation, to learn together. And you know what a big fan I am of collaborative learning. So thank you all for being a part of my collaborative learning experience as well. I hope that you're taking away some really interesting kind of ideas and things that you want to think about in terms of increasing your organization's potential, really, with full stack observability. So I hope you're leaving feeling fired up and ready to rock. Most of all, I hope that I will get to see you again at a webinar soon. And until that day, well, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're joining us from. Thanks all.